Okay, so many people have asked me for an update on Ebola and then some other issues, and I'm going to give y'all an update on that couple from Fiji, the one that died on vacation, and then also something crazy happened just within the last few days that, of course, not many people are hearing about. So let's go ahead and get started with all that. Okay, so yes, Japan imported Ebola into their country. Somehow with the claim that because they're going to have the Olympics next year, that they need it, which a lot of people have pushed back against, even, scientists and researchers and stuff, that said that's absolutely pretty insane, honestly, to have the live virus. Not only that, they imported a few other live viruses. On top of that, we now have people being quarantined to their house. So essentially house arrest for possibly being exposed to the measles. If you've been watching me since with all the Ebola and all of that, you know that I definitely think that they are using measles as a cover-up for Ebola, because it makes no logical sense to do these type of things if in fact it was just the measles. They're acting like it's some crazy disease, and they tried to make a woman miss her daughter's funeral because, get this, she went to the emergency room after her daughter passed away, having an anxiety attack, thinking she was having a heart attack. And, they treated her. She went home, prepared for the funeral. They called her and said she was apparently, possibly, exposed to the measles while she was in the emergency room for the hour or whatever she was in there. That's not logical. There's something more to this. And just, I'll attach my Ebola playlist to the end of this video. It's just silly. Not only that, y'all, there are hundreds of hospitals quietly shutting down around the country. It's weird, to say the least. Hospitals that have been open for 100 years just shutting down, not telling their employees anything. Their employees and patients that are going to have surgery that day, showing up at the hospital, and they're like, we closed. And this is going on all around the country. How is this not front page news? Well, I'm sure you know the answer to that, because they don't do real news. It's kind of scary. I mean, and a lot of these hospitals are in smaller towns, and so now these people are going to have to be transferred to the city, which, in a life and death situation, minutes really do count. I worked in the emergency room for years, and if we had to if some patients didn't make it to our hospital, or, whatever hospital, they wouldn't have made it. Depending on what it is. This is not good. And they are very quiet about this. And so the whole issue with them shutting down our Ebola research facility, then because of security issues, like safety issues. That happened a couple weeks ago. Then Russia's facility blew up. It's just too much. And then we have these mosquito-borne illnesses that many people have already died from just recently. And they're not even talking about this stuff. Speaking of all this, y'all, I spoke with the family of the couple from Fiji. So I spoke with the family of Michelle and David Paul, and they passed away back in May, mysteriously. The family still has not received an answer on their cause of death. How insane is that? That confirms what I already believed. I believe they absolutely had Ebola. No doubt. And if you didn't see the videos that I spoke about that, again, I'm going to put the Ebola and other health issues playlist at the end of this video, at the end screen. They have no answers, and nobody's talking about it anymore. And see, that's what they prey on, and that's exactly what I said. I said that people will forget about this, and they're never going to get an answer. I wish I was wrong, but that's what's going on. It's been, what, like 8 months now? It's unacceptable. Especially being that they could have, contacted other people, and if they wouldn't have been on vacation in a different country, we would have never heard about this. Mark my words, we would not have. No way. That's the only reason we heard about it. So how many other people has this happened to that we have not heard about? I don't know. That's why I take my silver every day. Gel, the soap, the lozenges, just a teaspoon a day, and it does absolutely, it's amazing. It absolutely is amazing. And I'll have a link to that. You can get 20% off, I believe it is, in my pinned comments. Oh, a reminder, people are always asking, where's the links? Where's the link? They're always going to be in the pinned comments, because if we put links in the description, YouTube for some reason does not like that, because they don't like you leaving their platform, and so we have to put them in the pinned comments to get away with it. Okay? And then now to another thing that I wish I would not have been right about. And this is in no way a bragging situation. It sucks. An American journalist was arrested in America. Why, you ask? Venezuela, of course. Venezuela. Because he's telling too much truth about Venezuela. So for those that don't remember, a few months ago, Code Pink decided to take over the Venezuelan embassy in DC that Venezuela left. They no longer wanted it. And I did a few videos saying that this was a terrible idea. This is going to backfire. It's not going to help Venezuela. Absolutely not going to help Venezuela. It's going to be bad. I even messaged Code Pink to thinking they were legit. I, for some reason, thought they were legit. And I was like, hey, y'all might want to think about this, from a psychological standpoint and from, da-da-da-da. I was super nice. I wasn't like, y'all are stupid or anything like that. I was, saying, can I speak with someone and we can talk about this, because this might be really bad for Venezuela, and it would just kind of defeat what you're trying to do. What did they do? Did they reply to me and say, thanks for your concern? No. They automatically blocked me. That told me for a fact that they were controlled. They are. They are trying to create this craziness. And then, so we had Max Blumenthal that went out there, to report on it, and he was down there And just the other day, SWAT shows up at his house. Guns drawn, all of these things. Arrests him for some phony charge of assaulting a woman in the embassy during this embassy takeover. Was anybody from Code Pink arrested for being at the embassy? Of course not. Which I don't feel that they should have been. I feel that they should have left. But, so why was Max arrested? Because Code Pink is a honeypot. They trapped him to come, you know, like, let's get the people that are big names that are, you know, talking about this stuff. And then, you know, it might not have even been a real person that said that they were assaulted by him. I mean, it's completely false. You know, he was, but it just doesn't make any sense, except for the fact they want to shut him up. They want to scare him. Yes, me and, you know, one other channel that I know about has been reporting about Venezuela for much longer than him, but, you know, he has the connections and stuff in DC and whatnot, so he's a bigger voice. And so, you know, they targeted him. Which, honestly, no matter what it is, everybody should be absolutely enraged that an American independent journalist is being arrested with fake charges to shut him up. And this is not the first one. I want y'all to think about these journalists that get arrested, these American journalists that get arrested in other countries, and how much the media makes this big huge deal about it. Like when that guy was arrested in Venezuela, who turned out to be a CIA agent trying to assassinate the president. And then Khashoggi, you know, mainstream media was talking about it, wall-to-wall coverage. They're not even talking about this with Max. Why? Because they don't want anybody to see the truth about what's going on in Venezuela. You know, I had messaged Max while this was occurring. I was like, Max, I would not go to the embassy. Like, there's nothing good coming out of that. It's going to backfire. I'm assuming he didn't get my message, and he went, you know, and it sucks. But it really sucks that people aren't even talking about this. But they'll talk about Snowden and Julian Assange, which I believe 100% are CIA assets. Because there are many whistleblowers and journalists that truly are real whistleblowers that nobody knows their names. Why? Because the mainstream media will not talk about them. Because they know if they talk about them, you're going to go look into it and read the information they're putting out. Like Danny Casolaro, like Michael Hastings, like some other ones that are still hiding out to this day. Like the 9/11 guy that was working for FEMA as a videographer, he's in South America hiding out. So how come we have these, I don't believe any of the whistleblowers that they make mainstream. Most of them are just, they're controlled. Like everything. Because they have to control the alternative narrative. They're not going to tell you about the people that won't sell out. They're not going to do that. So that's why they're not talking about Max. I don't think that Max realizes that Code Pink is controlled. I really don't. That's just my thought on it. That's my feelings, you know, from listening to him. He was on Jimmy Dore earlier, and this is just, it's insane. Oh, it's so insane. This should not happen in the United States. And yet people are so distracted with such silliness going on that it wouldn't surprise me if he was arrested. I mean, they let him out, like he doesn't even have a trial date yet. It's so crazy. But if y'all remember Schaefer Cox, he's in that secret prison in, where is it, Illinois? Like, max out, like a supermax. It's above a supermax. This is like Gitmo inside the United States. For what? For essentially saying that he wanted to create like a militia. Like, he was just standing up. He's a constitutional conservative, and there was somebody that infiltrated their group and got him to do all. He was a CIA asset, whatever, FBI, whatever. It was terrible. It still is terrible. He's still in prison 8 years later. But anyway, guys, I'm going to put the Ebola playlist and my Venezuela playlist, or just, maybe just the Code Pink video at the end of this. You'll see it on the end screen, and just click on that. And y'all, please like, share, and subscribe if you're not, and share this. People need to know what's going on, that American independent journalists are being arrested for speaking about the truth. That's how desperate they have become. It saddens me. It truly has. Anyway, guys, y'all have a wonderful day.